wasn't on the news at the time, but I literally didn't see anything about this like major bombing on Christmas, so I wanted to cover it, as well as there's been some updates since it actually happened, so I wanted to update you guys as well. So if you're into unsolved mysteries, true crime, basic ASMR, definitely leave a like or subscribe to my channel. I do a lot of this kind of content. A couple things before we start. All my notes are over here, so I'm going to be looking to the side a lot. Also, I've decided to film during rush hour, so if you hear some cars and motorcycles, etc., I apologize. Okay, let's get into the case about the Nashville Bomber. At around 1:22 on Christmas Day, a white RV drove onto 2nd Avenue North in Nashville, Tennessee. Police later found the vehicle parked outside of an AT&T transmission building after receiving reports of gunshots around 5:30 a.m. Resident Betsy Williams, who lives in a loft in the area, told CNN that it sounded like an automatic weapon going off at intervals, which prompted her to call 911. When officers arrived to the scene, they apparently found the RV broadcasting a message to evacuate now because, quote, this vehicle will explode in 15 minutes, which kind of kicked everyone into panic mode, as well as a countdown to the bomb's detonation. So police officers began to race through the neighborhood, knocking on doors, evacuating people, just minutes before the explosion actually occurred. As the clock ticked down to 0, the automatic warning actually changed to, if you can hear this message, evacuate now. It reported repeatedly, and just before the blast went off, the recording took an eerie turn, and police reported that they started to hear the following lyric from the early 60s song Downtown by Petula Clark. The lyric is, "The lights are much brighter there." And then at 6:30 a.m., the street exploded in an enormous flash, downing trees and shattering windows. So, the actual explosion about damaged 41 businesses, partially collapsed building, and it affected an AT&T network hub badly enough to disrupt Wi-Fi almost everywhere, as well as flights at Nashville's airport. It also sent 3 people to the hospital with non-critical injuries. So that evening, on December 25th, Nashville Mayor John Cooper said that the bomb was deliberate, with the purposeful intention of causing panic and chaos. The mayor also called the bombing intentional, but also pointed out that it was done during a time where no one was there and no one was going to get hurt, like at 5 in the morning. On Sunday evening, officials announced that they had identified the bomber as a 63-year-old resident, Anthony Quinn Warner, who was inside the vehicle as it exploded and perished in the bombing. They found this out by confirming that there were human remains found on the scene, which matched Warner's DNA. There was also dog canine DNA found on the scene, which means he probably had a dog with him, which breaks my heart. So, according to the Tennessean, Warner, the bomber, had no digital footprint. He had various IT jobs, including an operator for a company that created burglar alarms. Warner's neighbors characterized him as a reclusive, and they also reported seeing an RV similar to the one in the surveillance footage parked in his backyard over the few months, so it was pretty confirmed that he was the bomber. So someone who lived in the same duplex as Warner said he kind of staked out a lot of his property, particularly the area where he parked his RV with a ton of no trespassing signs. same type of bomb that exploded on Christmas Day. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation has claimed Warner not on their radar before December 25th, even though she did report him as building bombs. Then Metro Nashville Police Department reportedly forwarded the woman's report to the FBI, but I was reading some Reddit stuff that apparently she was going through some mental health stuff, and they checked in on him, and there didn't seem to be any bombs, and everything seemed to be fine, and he seemed to be normal, so they didn't really question him any further, and her tip wasn't taken that seriously. So now I kind of wanted to get into stuff prior to the explosion, because there's some conspiracy stuff and some theories, and you know, you get into Reddit and everyone goes off into what they think, and they knew the bomber and 5G conspiracies and aliens, so let's get into that. So it recently came out about a week ago that the Nashville Bomber sent packages containing writings and videos promoting conspiracy theories to multiple people just a few days before the blast. The packages, according to CBS, contained 9 typed pages of writing, 2 thumb drives loaded with videos, and at least one of the packages contained a letter that began, "Hey dude, you will never believe what I found in the park." Whatever that means. The letter also continued, quote, "The knowledge I have gained is immeasurable. I now understand everything, and I mean everything from who/what we really are to what the known universe really is." The letter urged the recipient to watch the videos Warner included on the thumb drives. The letter was signed Julio, a name Warner often used when signing emails. Apparently, his dog was also named Julio, who died in the blast. Why? That, you don't need to blow your dog up with you. So, Warner also wrote about 9/11 and the moon landings, saying at one point, "The moon landing and 9/11 have so many anomalies they are hard to count." Warner also wrote that aliens have been attacking Earth since September 2011 and that the media is covering up the attacks. Warner's writings also discuss the conspiracy that Earth is controlled by a race of reptilian lizard people. I thought he was going to say the Earth is flat. When I was first reading this, I was surprised that that conspiracy wasn't in there. He also believes that they put a switch into the human brain so they can walk among us and appear human. In a statement, the FBI said, "We are aware that suspect sent materials which espoused his viewpoints to several acquaintances throughout the country, and to ask anyone who received a package to contact them." So, also, he didn't say this in any of the packages or anything I could find in the letters that he wrote to people, but it's widely believed that he was anti-5G and was a part of the belief and conspiracy that 5G is bad and a part of the government's way to control us. I was reading into it, and people believe that like particles or beams or whatever 5G is, radio waves, can like break down human DNA and somehow change them, something to do with radical ions. I'm not explaining it well, but basically there's people who believe that 5G is meant to control us or have an effect on us. So a lot of people believe that he was anti-5G, hence the reason why he parked right outside of a major AT&T hub, because that explosion like just completely blew it up. The bomb ran out right outside of it, and it took out all those Wi-Fi services across Nashville and even affected the airport. And that's another reason why I feel like we weren't hearing about a lot of stuff from Nashville, is because no one had Wi-Fi. I remember seeing tweets like, "We don't have Wi-Fi, that's why you're not hearing anything about it." Like, also found a Reddit thread that had a bunch of people from the southeast and Nashville commenting on how bad his cell service and Wi-Fi had been there just a week ago when I did today. A user comment, or it's January 4th right now, so a week ago from January 4th, a user commented that he did a fairly good job at blowing up AT&T's cell service. It's been effed across the southeast for days. Their DSL and fiber service as well. It's just today seems to be mostly functional again. So going off the evidence that he believes in a lot of other conspiracies, like the moon landing being a hoax and the reptilian race of people, he most likely believed in the 5G conspiracy and therefore wanted to blow up the major AT&T transmission hub and destroy Wi-Fi for everyone. I'm not sure, but it's a very weird case. I'm so happy no one was killed. There were no casualties, of course, except for the actual bomber. But yeah, I would love to see if there were more updates in this case. My leg is falling asleep. Sorry. So, sorry this case is a little shorter than usual, but I wanted to bring attention to it because there just seemed to be a lack of media coverage during the time that it happened. There's some interesting parts about this case. I would love to see if anything else comes about it. There's probably stuff they're not releasing to the media, but yeah, it's pretty sad that it's interesting that he killed himself in the blast. I'm glad no